welcome to my channel. This is Tina Stitches. This is a channel called FlossTube, category of cross-stitch journals that we put up on YouTube. So, yeah, it's a blog, vlog thing. It's become quite popular, apparently, and yeah, it's what I do. So, it's been about 10 days since my last video. Today is Father's Day, June 18th, 2023, and I want to say happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, and the father figures, and all of those in the father position. So, happy Father's Day. I will have to call my dad tonight, and the boys my boys are coming over soon, so I have to make this quick. I don't have a lot to show. I'm gonna say 4 whips, 1 mini finish, and yeah, I am not taking things out of the Q-snap because it's in a good position for me to pick it up and start working on it again, so we'll leave it where it is. So when I show you my mini finish, you'll have to excuse the Q-snap. So we might as well start with that. I am in the monthly magazine challenge group, but I have not posted any progress pictures in there for quite a while. So even though I am using this for those challenges, I've not, recorded it there, so I guess it doesn't count. So this is Dressmaker's Daughter by Mirabilia. Here's what it'll look like when it's finished. And here's where it was when you last saw it. And here's where we got to. The autumn portion is finished. There is some backstitching to do and all the beads. And I do realize that I have a leaf to fill in here. But I can do that when I come back for the beading. There it is. This is stitched on 32 count Sweet Lavender Belfast linen by XJudeDesigns. So, since that was finished, I moved the Q-snap, and we're working on winter, which has got some progress. Not a whole lot. It was, just this little bit here. So, but there it is. That's where we're at now. And out of all of them, winter is the only one left for Xing, the X's. And then on to the beads, which I believe I mentioned last video that I might have to source some because they're Magnificas, so I might use Delicas instead, which means that I'm going to have to source those, try to do a conversion. I do have some of them, so Just trying to get this manageable. Okay, now the next one, I'm just working in the order of the pile here. Yeah, so that was my mini finish, the autumn portion of Dressmaker's Daughter, which I am stitching in the opposite season of what I am experiencing. And when the season changes, I change. And so we're going to be switching over to winter on the 21st. Sorry, it'll be summer here. I was intending to switch over to winter on Dressmaker's Daughter, but since I finished autumn, I switched over early. And hopefully we can get that one finished before the end of summer. This next one is Vintage Simplicity. This is a kit I got off of Amazon. It's dimensions. I'm sure it's available anywhere. Support your local needle workshop. I got mine from Amazon because of a gift card. And I ditched the kit fabric. Well, it's not ditched. It's in here. And traded it out for Monaco or some other 28 count even weave in my stash. I think it's Monaco, but I can't be 100% sure. Here's where it was when you last saw it. And here it is now. And I worked this area and started adding her skin tone. I'm stitching this with Kim from Stitch and Stuff, and we're stitching it, I'm stitching it every second Sunday. We both started it on Mother's Day last year. So here's where I'm at. And this bag was a gift from Kim to go with our projects. Matching bags. Just putting everything back in the bag. Okay. The next in the pile, I shouldn't even be showing you this, but I want you to know that I did touch a reindeer. This is Donder, and I did a few beads over here. This area here, I started the beads. So, it did get some love. Just want you to know. I think I'm going to have a guest. Over here. Squeaky. Come on.
Sorry.
You got stuck. Come on. It's okay. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, Squeaky wanted to be downstairs where he was eating because he wasn't done eating. So she was going to stay with him until the food was all gone. And now the food's all gone, right? Okay, there you go. Okay, so this next one also is something that I haven't picked up for quite a while, and I've been really wanting to get some progress on this. So I thought I could do 100 Days of Chatelaine again, but I just keep failing again and again and again. I do 4 days, miss a day. 5 days, miss a day. But I did get some progress, so any progress is good. This is what it's supposed to look like when it's finished. This is where it was when you last saw it. And here it is now. So I've stitched all of this and a portion of the black work in here. This is stitched on 32 count opalescent white even weave. I can't remember if it's a Jobelin or a Lugana. I know somebody will know. I'm not an expert on fabric types. It's an even weave, it's 32 count, it's white and opalescent. I am stitching it with all the called for silks. I am substituting black treasure braid for the black work, where it calls for just DMC 310. But I wanted to give it a little extra sparkle. So, not like it really needs it being on opalescent, but there it is. Okay. I have 2 Heaven and Earth full coverage pieces in progress. I did not stitch a whole lot on inner depths, and it's, if you've been here before, you recall that it's in a very large, bulky lap stand, table stand, and that's downstairs. And so I didn't work on it enough to bring it up. Barely even 200 stitches if I can even remember that. I mean, it might be more, but when I am working on it, I'm doing the typewriter method where you pick the lowest stitch and you stitch it until wherever it goes until it runs out. For me, I stitch it until it's as far as I'm comfortable stitching, and then I stop. I park it. I'm doing a similar method with a stitching shelf, except I'm picking like an area, and I'm picking the highest stitch and working it down so I can get to the next shelf below. I started in the center at the top, working my way down. This is Stitching Shelf by Amy Stewart. And here's where it was when you last saw it. And here it is now. I'm stitching this on 25 count Lugana, I believe. 2/1 half cross. And I've filled in mostly down here, and I've started to bring this book down. My goal is to finish this book by June 21st and then move on to the next season. So this will get rolled, well, not rolled exactly, but it's not removed, but it's moved in the Q-snap to be down here. This is the midway, the center line. This is not the center line. It was supposed to be the center line, but I accidentally started on a page break instead. So it's going to be off by about 15 to 30 stitches. It's not going to affect my side margins at all. So that's where it's at. I started this August 12th, I believe, which was World Cross Stitch Day. I started this with Kim from Stitch and Stuff and Carolyn Zook from Zook Stitch. And if you watch their channels, you're probably wondering, are you really? Because they're not really working on theirs at all. So that's fine. I have a goal. I'm a little behind on my goal. I'm about 1,800 stitches away from being on track of my goal. So maybe my next holiday, which is in about 4 weeks now, I'll be able to catch that up. So, micro progress on Donder. Yeah. Any progress is some progress, right? I'm just looking at my notes. Yeah. So, this is a quick video. I didn't have a lot to show. Mostly being that my projects are up in my craft room has kind of reined in the, well, pick something up and stitch on it in one sense. Because I sit in a recliner in the living room and stitch in the evenings. So if I only have the one project down there, that's the one I'm going to stitch on. Which, for the last week, there's been, well, 3 projects down there. Dressmaker's Daughter, Royal Tudor Mandala, and Simplicity. So those are the ones that got focused on. It works. Stitching shelf is up here in the craft room, and in the mornings I sit here and put in about 100 stitches, 20 minutes, something, in the mornings before I go to work. And that's about, I mean, aside from the weekends, that's about the only time that I work on a stitching shelf. So I think if I had focused on it, like made it an evening project, I could get more progress on both of those, inner depths and stitching shelf. But that's the way I've been working on my Heaven and Earths for quite a while. Just little chunks at a time. Okay. So some of you may have noticed that I have a sunburn. It's not really, really bad. We were out kayaking yesterday. It was overcast. We're in a highly restricted fire zone right now. Extreme conditions for fires, and absolutely no open flame at all allowed. No charcoal barbecues, no, I think, no campfires, not even for cooking or for warmth. I think the only thing that you can use as far as barbecue is propane. We don't have natural gas here, so it would be propane barbecue. But yesterday when we were out on the lake kayaking, it just happened to be that we were in the right position on the lake between peninsulas and shorelines, that we could spot off in the distance smoke coming up. And so the friend that we were with, he called the number that he thought, well, that I had told him to call, and reported the fire. And then I called the number after I Googled it, and I called the number to report it, because he thought the person on the other end of the line that he had called didn't really seem to know where we were. So I just called just to confirm, hey, look, there's a fire, it's over here. And also he has a friend in the M&R, which is the Ministry of Natural Resources, and he called him to say, look, there's a forest fire. We can see it now. There's actually flame going up the trees, and we're like 3 or 4 miles away. So it's just directly across the water from us. And they did send out a helicopter and firefighting resources, and within the hour it was under control. It was only 0.2 of a hectare. So very small, but it could have been very, very out of control in a very small amount of time. So when I saw it, when we got back and we went out on the road to the community where it was near, they had firefighters out there too. And later on, I saw on Facebook that somebody had posted where they could actually see the fire from across the bay from their house. So I'm sure she called as well. So, yay. We were supposed to get rain today. We didn't. My husband even cut the lawn, and still no rain. Usually he cuts the grass, and lo and behold, rain. So we did what we could to make it rain, but it didn't. I should mention that the steps were damp. The steps were wet this morning when I got up, so it had rained last night, but today when I checked on the forest fire, there's a forest fire interactive map online that you can watch, and it was listed as out today, so that's good. Very happy about that, because it's not far from where I live. And yeah, I want to say thank you to Gail and Amy for reaching out. I know they were discussing the smoke and reached out to see if I was okay, because the smoke in New York is coming from Ontario, and I'm far away from where that particular fire was happening. And we up here where I am right now, our air quality is listed as very low, but and maybe I'm just nose blind, but I don't smell the smoke. It's blue skies right now. It's not very hazy, so I think it's just not as smoky as they predicted it would be. So I just want to say I'm okay. Thank you for checking. But yeah, I thought that the guys were here, but anyways, now for real, I am going to say goodbye. Thank you for watching. Happy stitching. Bye.